Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome live to our weekly Q&A regarding parenting, mother's development by four Muslimas. Every Monday, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's good to see you all here, alhamdulillah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, dear sister from India, mashallah. How is everyone doing? All right, you guys know the drill. I am here to answer your questions regarding parenting and your development and growth and progress as a Muslim mother. I do have a question from last week that I took a screenshot of. In the meantime, I'm going to start with the dua and then we're going to start and answer the questions. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well and it's good to hear that you all are well. It's good to see you here, alhamdulillah. All right, bismillah, walhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this from all of us as ibadah, inshallah, and trying to better ourselves for His sake. I'll wait for questions, and in the meantime, I have a question from last week. I don't know if the sister's here live or not, but I promised I would answer this. So the question was, how should we create a safe environment for failure without making children comfortable with it? So that's a really good one. So the sister's asking, how do we make failures, which are inevitable, how do we create a safe environment and a safe space for that? And then at the same time, how do we not get our kids used to just being okay with failing all the time, right? Oh, mashallah, jazakallah khair, dear sister. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so here's the thing. Failure is part of life. Unfortunately, like I always say this, certain cultures and certain backgrounds and certain societies do kind of... Now, failure happens, but these societies have kind of made it something shameful almost to fail, where in reality, it's just part of our existence, right? Whether it's in our ibadah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even Allah knows His own creation. He knows that we're going to make mistakes and fail. And Allah has said that if there was, the whole world would not make any mistakes again, in order to make istighfar to me, I would wipe you all out and replace you with new people, right? So this, when we read this, it's a reminder that failure and mistakes are just so normal and such a normal part of life, right? And so where things go wrong is that the society has taught us that somehow they put this in our head that you can move forward without making any mistakes. And then when mistakes happen, inevitably, of course, then society and families shame children and children feel ashamed. And one of the strongest and most powerful, in a negative way, I'm talking about, feelings is shame, right? This just totally blocks a child from, moving forward and excelling and making progress and growing. Shame is something very, very, very powerful, again, in a negative sense. And so when we know that mistakes are going to happen, how do we create a safe environment? Simply by talking about it and recognizing and admitting that mistakes and failures are part of life. Whether we are young, whether we're adults, whether we're older adults, mistakes are going to be part of our existence. And so as a family, what can you do to normalize this and to create that safe environment? A safe environment means exactly this. Mistakes are going to happen and you're going to help your child get through them, not by shaming them, not by, making it sound like it's the end of the world, but by recognizing it And then how do you encourage them not to get used to that? Is by not ending the conversation and the interaction with just recognizing the failure without shaming. So here's where it comes in place to model to your children and show them that, you know, we can make a mistake, we recognize it. If it's something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not happy with, we make istighfar, we reset our intention, and we start all over. And how do you start over? So if a child has failed in, say, schoolwork or something, right? It's okay. I mean, it's going to happen eventually, right? If we have the idea that a child can go through years and years of schooling with just straight A's and never making mistakes and never failing, that's wrong. I mean, look at certain societies where, may Allah protect our children, where suicide rates are so high because children feel like they get to a point where they don't know, they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Because in their brain, failure is just completely the end of everything. And so let's recognize with our children. So say your child has failed into something, recognize it. Hey, I'm seeing that you failed. It's normal. It's very normal. I have failed. I will still fail in certain things. You are going to do that. But how do you come out of this now in a better way? And so you can teach your child to reset intentions and restart over. How do you, for example, you failed at a certain test? Okay, how do you make it better for next time? Let's create a plan. Maybe you need to spend more time studying. Maybe you need to approach it in a different way. Maybe there are things that are taking your attention away, and that's causing you to fail at this subject or this project. And so it really comes down to recognizing, verbalizing it to a child that this is very normal, and then making that a reset point, not the end point. So I hope that answered my sister's question that was asked last week. And inshallah, I'm ready for your next question. If not, I can talk to you about certain topics. I can remember some of the previous questions that are sent to me by emails and DMs. But I'll give it a few minutes for those who decided to join live to answer your questions, inshallah. Okay, so I don't see any questions here. I remember something I talked about recently and this took off. So in a reel, I can just talk about it, you know, a little bit because it's so short. It's only a few seconds, max a minute for me. But I talked recently about the 3 ways that you damage your relationship with your child. And this is huge, obviously, right? Because a lot of times we... as parents, we behave and operate in a certain way where we unknowingly damage the relationship with our child. And so I named the three things that cause this. And number 1, it's you don't spend quality time together with your child. You know, any person who comes to me, works with me, takes my courses, books one-on-one coaching, and they're complaining about their child's misbehavior, as they call it, I tell them it's actually not misbehavior. It's actually a cry for help and a way to establish connection with you. Now, this sounds really, really strange, but children, subhanAllah, psychologically, this is how it works. If they don't get good quality time with you, so your attention in a positive way, they will take it from you in a negative way. And because a child knows, if you don't set time aside to spend fun, happy connection time with your child, what are they going to do? They're going to push your buttons and do certain things that will forcefully draw your attention, right? So for example, think about a busy day that you had in your life, right? And you're running around and I know what a life of a mother looks like, and you're driving the kids and you're cooking and cleaning and helping with homework. Now there's no quality or connection time in your day. So the moment a child then acts out, maybe hits a sibling or throws something or yells or, talks back to you, what do you do immediately? You stop everything and you direct yourself to the child and you actually connect, right? Now, this is not positive connection. This is going to be maybe anger from you. Maybe you lose your temper and you're saying certain words and certain things to your child. Some mothers actually tell me that they get so frustrated that they sometimes even hit. Now, strangely enough, this is drawing your attention from a child's perspective. And so when you intentionally during your day, during your busy hours, set some time aside on a regular basis. Now, I'm not saying make this hours and hours long, even if this is 5 to 10 minutes a day, but you set this time aside and you actually connect with your child. Meaning, what would you like to do? Maybe you play a board game. Maybe you play some cards. Maybe you wrestle around. Maybe you color together, whatever your child enjoys. But you do this without being busy and occupied with something else. You are fully present with your child and your attention's there. And you spend this time together. Now, doing this on a regular basis will let your child know that he or she is getting your attention. And so she or he is not going to try to take your attention in negative ways. And so when parents work with me, I tell them, if you want the misbehavior to go away, the first thing I look at is, what does quality time look like for you with your child? Because that's the most basic and dominant need of a child in a parent-child relationship. And then number 2, the second thing that really breaks your relationship with your child is if you're constantly nagging and criticizing and commanding your child, as if like always trying to play the authority figure, right? This has different things. There's different reasons why this hurts the relationship between you and your child. First of all the no's and the nagging and the criticism, these are all negative energy sources, right? You throw these, you project this at your child. And subhanAllah, in human relationships, we have this emotional bank, right? If it's always being drained and taken away, which is the negative energy, then there's nothing left in the child to be positive to you, right? To have that good relationship with you. And so make sure that you have discipline and you have authority in your relationship. But if it's always nagging and criticism, it just drains you. I mean, think about a person maybe in your life that's always nagging at you, always criticizing, always telling you what you do wrong and how they feel disappointed. You'd rather stay away from that person, right? Because it feels so draining to be around them. And so the same thing goes for our children. So you want to have a better relationship? Well, we have to control the negative projections on our children because it robs them from positivity. And then the last thing that hurts your relationship with your child is not being able to set boundaries. Common to contrary belief, I've said this before, parents sometimes think that the more they listen to their children and the more they give in and buy gifts and let them do whatever they want, they think that that actually builds a relationship, which is false. Children, again, intrinsically, they love and they crave some type of boundary setting. Children who don't have boundaries actually feel very insecure. They have very low self-esteem, and they have very little impulse control, and they can't control their own impulses and saying no to themselves because it's never modeled to them. And so naturally, when there's no boundaries, your child, in my country, Afghans have this saying of, if you don't set boundaries, they're going to climb on your shoulders. And it's so true. This is very, very true. Children are super clever and sensitive at sensing from you what your boundaries are. And so even as little kids, 1, 2, 3-year-olds, if they know that they can get away with things, they will just push a little further and a little further and a little further. And then naturally this just breaks relationships, right? Because you as parent are not going to be happy with anything and everything they do. And so yes, it's going to take energy and time and effort from you to set boundaries, meaning to say certain things are allowed and here's where we're not going to go. And then of course your child's going to push back, and that's the discomfortable part, the uncomfortable part, right? That's the discomfort. That's the it's just not always easy to hold those boundaries, but it is gonna give you a better relationship. SubhanAllah, I know this from studying child psychology and learning parenting, and then also from my own experience as a mother of 4 children. Alhamdulillah, my oldest is now 16. Yes, in the moment, setting boundaries is hard, but SubhanAllah, in the long run, it's going to just build your relationship, even if you never thought that would. All right, so I hope that was helpful. I'm going to go back up here. I saw another question. What should we do if child is always asking for attention that parents have no time for ourselves? Okay, so part of what I teach, so I always say anything parenting that you want to implement is not implementable if you as a mother have not taken care of yourself. And that's the reason why I put my Unstuck course for just $27. This is like a 90% reduction from the price that I have been just recently selling it for, because I know that mothers need this. I'm here teaching you all things about parenting, but this is what I noticed in my own life. I became a certified parent coach, and I realized that at certain points, all the knowledge just went out of the window. I couldn't implement it. I wasn't the mother I wanted to be, because I was not okay. And so for me, and anything I teach, it is super, super important that you do take time for yourself. There is nothing selfish about this. I don't want anybody to tell you that you are a bad mother, or in that case, a bad father, to take time for yourself, to recharge, to educate yourself, to grow in your mind, body, and spirit, and your soul. Because we need that, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us whole human beings. And we always say if the jug is not full, meaning if you don't take care of yourself and fill your own bucket, how are you going to pour into your children's cups, right? It's just not possible. So you will never hear me say, don't take care of yourself. That's actually a prerequisite for parenting. You have to be okay in order to implement what I tell you or anybody else teaches you about parenting. And that's why I first created a course for mothers to grow in their mind, body, and soul, how to take care of their mind, getting rid of the negative energy, and, putting positive thoughts in their mind, programming their brain. How do you take care of your physical body? How do you build your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So these are all in my course Unstuck, which if you are interested in, inshallah, the link is in my bio, or you can comment Unstuck after this video is posted, and I'll send you the link, inshallah. But so if you want to have time for yourself, but your child wants your attention, well, here's my thing. We can do both. What I'm asking you of spending quality time with your children, this doesn't have to be hours and hours long. In fact, I have noticed that if you give your children enough time on a regular basis, you're actually buying back more time for yourself. So the reason that you want to take some time for yourself, which you should, but then your children act very needy and they want your time and they want your attention, it's because they feel depleted. So schedule it in your day. If your time is early in the morning, like I do, then you had your time the rest of the day. Plan 5 to 10 minutes with your kids. Play with them, sing with them, cuddle with them, wrestle with them, go outside to the park with them, and then name it to them. This is our time. This is our special time. And mention it every day to your child. I am setting this time aside because I want to just spend it with you. don't pick up phones at that time. Don't check Instagram. Don't read, even if it's parenting articles. Don't check your email. Don't call your mom. Don't call your auntie. No, this is just time with you and your child. And so when you do this on a regular basis and your child realizes, wow, my mother is setting time aside for me, naturally, they are not going to act so needy to you anymore. It might take a few days for their bucket, as we call it, to be filled and feel fulfilled with the time and attention that you give to them. And then, subhanAllah, slowly, you spend that time together, you kiss them, you hug them, you say, this was so much fun. I can't wait for tomorrow to spend time with you again. And off they are. You'll be amazed how much they then get along with each other, how well they play by themselves. They look forward to tomorrow because that time's coming again, and they won't act so needy with you anymore. SubhanAllah, so much of misbehavior is all attention seeking from you. And so when you give your child that time on a regular basis, you're not going to feel that neediness from them. You're going to free up more time for yourself, and then you're actually going to have that time for you, whether you want to learn or read or exercise or just sit somewhere quiet and drink a cup of coffee or spend time with your husband. It all becomes so much more possible, inshallah. All right, I'm going to scroll down and see if there's anything else. That was it. I have a few more minutes. I'm going to wait if there's another question, and if not, then that is it for today, inshallah. Good questions, mashallah. Like I always mention, if you, I have a free parenting PDF for you with 3 steps on bettering your relationship with your child, inshallah. So all the links are in my bio. I have the Unstuck course, again, at 90% discount now for only $27. This was being sold for $300, and I just felt like I want all the mothers to at least take care of themselves before they learn parenting and before they're able to implement all the parenting strategies. I have a free 3-part video series for you where I share with you a breathing technique that I use on a daily basis to help you bring calm into your days. You can join my email list where I send 2 emails a week to the people on my list. 1 email a week is a parenting strategy or a tool. The second email is just the background life of me, like the behind the scenes of my life as a parent, as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a so many roles that we have. I give you the background of what happens on a regular basis in my life. And then the other thing you can do is join my book waitlist. So my book, inshallah, parenting book, is going to be published by the end of this year, inshallah. If you want to be notified when it comes out, join the mailing list, join the waitlist for that, and I'll notify you, inshallah. Okay, I see another question. So, sister, if I get questions later on in the chat, then I just take a screenshot of it and then I answer it the next time I come, inshallah. So it is 3 minutes that is left. I am going to end with the dua, inshallah. Sister Meher, I'm going to take a screenshot of this quickly. There you go. Next week, inshallah, I will start with answering your question. All right. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us being here, learning and growing for His sake. Please keep me and my family in your dua. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wa salamun ala al-mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. I'll see you guys next week, same time, Instagram Live. May Allah make all our children the coolness of our eyes and make us successful parents for His sake. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.